Hi people, Marino Ravenberg here again. In this video, I'll be discussing the importance of adaptability, of being able to adapt to situations and whatnot. Before I continue, I want to offer my apologies for the background noise. If you hear anything, just don't allow it to distract you, please. My neighbors were having a party, some kind of birthday party, and current time is 3 a.m., 2 minutes to 3 a.m. And there's nothing I can do about it, you know. They just blast that hillbilly music and they're hillbilly Indians, so there's nothing I can do. In any case, yeah, let's get down to business. The header is honestly self-explanatory for the most part. Words can describe how important it is to be able to adapt to a situation. Not adapting to a situation or a series of events spells near certain doom for someone. Okay, I can give countless examples, but it's all about adaptability. And this also applies to the occult, make no mistake. When things go wrong, you shouldn't flip out, you should keep your head cool and simply get an overview. I've been through this, unfortunately, more than a few times. But I'm sorry, but of course that's behind me, and my focus is on sheer stability and consistency, so permanence, which is going okay. But again, even that came at the cost of instability, and you need to simply be able to adapt on the go, otherwise you're gonna have problems. And for people that are wondering, how does one adapt on the go, how do you adapt occult wise as well as neutrally speaking? You simply need to have an overview and keep track of your movements or of the unfolding of certain events at the very least shortly before disaster struck, and that way you'll be able to know what to do, where to go from there. But what sees to adaptability is also that you need to be consistent. Okay, never give up and never just say, hey, you know what, throw in the towel and just never mind. You know, I mean, if you do so, if you lack, due to whatever reason, if you lack motivation or anything like that, then yeah, now you should have never started to begin with, okay, at some point. But the point is that you need to be consistent, and the message that I'm simply trying to get across is that, make no mistake, it doesn't matter who you are or how well prepared you are, something unexpected is always a possibility, a realistic possibility. It doesn't matter how sure you are of yourself, you always need to prepare for something that is, metaphorically speaking, impossible mentally. And even if you if that wasn't the case, your ability to adapt to a situation is what will see the long-term successes in the end. But if you're someone that's rigid and you're not capable of adapting to a certain situation, as in you're stuck at where you are and you're so narrow-minded, or you're simply too stubborn to be willing to change and adapt to your environment and whatever trifling situation you find yourself in, then yeah, you're gonna end up in trouble. Let's see, I'm trying to think of occult examples I can give. Examples that I can give, for example, is when I work with Klonek and I got stranded, you know, after working a year with Klonek. I simply adapted to the circumstances and situations. I always adapted, doing things in a different way, okay, trying to do things in whichever way I can. I'm not going to tell an entire story, okay, because all of that you can find that on my website, in the articles I have, as well as on the video. But point is that I've been through that, okay, where you seriously need to adapt to situations. And well, in my case, it was adapting out of necessity. No one adapts because they want to in general. If you feel comfortable, then why would you adapt? But my point is that motivation is your biggest driving factor and driving force. You need to be able to adapt to everything. The pretty much the finest historical example that I can give are the Romans. For people that are familiar with the Roman Empire, Western Roman Empire, so not the Byzantines, one of the main reasons for their tremendous success as an empire overall is their consistent ability to be able to adapt. Where others would have thrown in the towel, they just kept going and they didn't try new things. They literally opted for other strategies. They were defeated and they said, nah, We need to do things a different way because this is not working. We keep losing battle after battle and we're gonna die this way. It's the same thing. You need to be able to adapt to conditions and environments and circumstances. And make no mistake, adapting is not something that is accomplished easily, or it's something that's pleasant. In general, adapting means stepping out of your comfort zone. If you're used to doing things a certain way, adapting simply means that you're going to have to turn everything around. If you're someone that's used to smoking, for example, and you need to substitute smoking all of a sudden with just drinking a cup of or a glass of water a day, then yeah, it's going to be hard. But two factors play a role. Consistency, you need to be consistent, you need to stay on it, you need to get on it and stay on it. And the other thing is motivation. You need to stay motivated. You really need to have the willpower and the determination and the perseverance to push through. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. And it's the same thing with the occult, okay? If you practice the occult and something doesn't work, those two factors play a part. How determined, how serious, how perseverant are you? And how are you at best capable of adapting to the situation by being consistent too. You need to stay on it. It's not something that, oh, okay, this didn't work, I tried this, but it didn't work, unfortunately. Just never mind. And then go back to whatever dire situation you found yourself in and just wallow in your own misery to the point where you drown in it. Nah, you need to be consistent. It has to be something that's a way of life. But people often, due to these two factors, lack of determination and lack of morale, lack of motivation, they simply drop it. They're not serious whatsoever. But yeah, unfortunately in the world, people want all the benefits, but they want none of the drawbacks that come associated with these benefits. You can't have it both ways. If you want to accomplish something, then you better believe you're going to have to work your ass off like no other. But yeah, in any case, that's simply what the message that I wanted to share, okay? Make no mistake, adaptability is key, okay? You're very survival either metaphorically as well as literally has to deal with adapting yourself to your surroundings. Adaptability is key. Bye.